Have you ever tried shopping for a major medical procedure? It's exactly like buying a used car. If the car was inside your own body, and the salesman kept using words like autologous hematopoietic stem cell transplantation. You find yourself squinting at websites, kicking the proverbial tires of your own immune system. So, this model comes with a full reboot, you'd say to a doctor in a slightly too shiny suit. What's the mileage on that? Any history of, turning me into a sentient pile of jello? What's the warranty on this thing? Do I get free oil changes, or in this case, free spinal taps for life? Because that feels like something I should negotiate up front. The whole process is utterly bizarre. One clinic's website promises a new lease on life with a stock photo of a woman laughing while eating a salad, which is a frankly unrealistic expectation for anyone, post-chemo or not. Another presents a dizzying array of charts and graphs that look less like medical data and more like the schematics for a Swedish coffee table. It's a high-stakes game of medical tourism roulette. Buckle up. What's a stem cell transplant, or HSCT? Imagine your immune system is a government office run by paranoid bureaucrats who think myelin is the enemy. The result? Lesions, nerve damage, and a body that can't decide if it wants to walk or do the cha-cha slide. A stem cell transplant is the ultimate corporate restructuring. Doctors harvest your stem cells, nuke your immune system with chemo, then reboot you with fresh recruits. It's a biological CTRL+ALT+DEL. Then you do what any modern human does, turn to the internet. Suddenly, you're lost in a lawless frontier of advice. One tab promises you'll run marathons. Another warns you'll grow a third arm, and every forum is a rabbit hole of wild testimonials. Brochures from clinics worldwide promise everything from robust regeneration by stern Russian doctors to holistic journeys with mandatory sunrise yoga. If you see the word miracle twice or a frequent flyer discount, run. Eventually, you close all 47 tabs, stare at the wall, and wonder if just living with the occasional leg spasm is easier. Welcome to the Wild West of medical research. Now, before you book your one-way ticket to a country with, lax medical regulations and a favorable exchange rate, there's a crucial detail to consider. A stem cell transplant for MS is kind of like the world's most exclusive and, honestly, most terrifying nightclub. There's a velvet rope, a very strict bouncer, your neurologist, and not everyone gets in. In fact, most people don't. The procedure isn't a one-size-fits-all magic wand. It's a highly specific tool for a very specific type of problem. So, who's on the guest list? Primarily, this treatment is aimed at people with a very active form of relapsing remitting MS, or RRMS. Think of RRMS as a series of surprise attacks. Your immune system launches a raid, you have a relapse, and then it retreats, and you recover, at least partially. For some folks, these attacks are frequent and ferocious, causing significant damage with each wave, and standard treatments just aren't doing enough to stop the onslaught. It's really the neurological equivalent of having a house party that gets so out of control. Your only option is to burn the house down and build a new one. On the other hand, if you have progressive MS, getting approved is much, much harder. The metaphorical house party is over, but the damage is done, and the house's foundation is slowly crumbling on its own. You have to be sick enough to need it, but healthy enough to survive it. It's a ridiculously narrow tightrope to walk. This isn't a casual undertaking. It's a medical Hail Mary, and your doctors need to be sure you're throwing it on the right field, at the right time, and with a reasonable chance of it being caught. All right, let's say you made it past the bouncer. You're on the list. Now you get to choose your destination. You compare the leading global contenders for where to have your immune system professionally annihilated. Russia, Mexico. Choosing Russia. No nonsense, brutally efficient. The brochure probably just says, "We will fix you, do not ask questions." There will be borscht. Mexico. Sunnier, more patient-friendly, with recovery suites that look like hotel rooms. Staff who are reportedly very warm and encouraging. It's the chemo with a side of guacamole. You can just picture it, trying to explain to a customs agent with a very large hat why you're carrying a suitcase full of compression socks, anti-nausea medication, and an alarming number of oversized beanies. Or attempting to use a translation app to ask a nurse for a blanket, only to accidentally ask for a llama instead. You'd be lying in your hospital bed, bald and bewildered, as a confused but well-meaning orderly leads a llama into your room. It adds a certain layer of surrealism to an already surreal experience. And now, a quick commercial break. If you're enjoying this whirlwind tour of medical mayhem and existential dread, seasoned with just a pinch of gallows humor, then you're in the right place. Go on, hit that subscribe button. Give that like button a little tap. It costs you nothing. By subscribing, you ensure you won't miss the next chapter in this wild ride. We've got more treatments to investigate, more specialists to confuse, and more medical jargon to mercilessly mock. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, after all the research, the dodgy websites, the imaginary llama incidents, and the soul-searching, is a stem cell transplant for MS actually worth it? The answer is a deeply unsatisfying maybe. For a very specific group of people, it can be life-changing, halting the progression of a relentless disease in its tracks. The success stories are powerful and filled with hope. People who went from wheelchairs to walking, from constant relapses to long-term remission. But for every incredible success story, there is a mountain of caveats. The risks are real: serious infections, secondary autoimmune diseases, and in rare cases, death. It's not a cure, it's a reset button that comes with no guarantees. The recovery is long and arduous, a slow climb back to normalcy. It's a monumental decision, a true fork in the road that requires a long, honest conversation with a neurologist who you trust, preferably one who doesn't look like they're trying to sell you a timeshare in their uncle's condo. It forces you to weigh the known devil of your current condition against the unknown devil of a radical, body-altering procedure. It's a process of asking questions, demanding answers, and advocating for yourself in a system that can often feel overwhelming and impersonal. And sometimes, just going through that process is a victory in itself, empowering you with knowledge, even if you ultimately choose a different path. And that, folks, is where we'll leave it for today. The quest for the ultimate MS treatment is far from over. Is the next stop a cutting-edge new drug with an unpronounceable name? A deep dive into the world of alternative therapies involving bee stings or bizarre diets? Or maybe just an attempt to perfect the art of gracefully tripping over nothing in public? Stick around to find out. The adventure continues because, with MS, it always does. See you next time.